It's Saturday evening. It's time to talk about the very best comic books in the entire world with our good friend Drew. How you doing, Trevor?
I am doing fantastic, Wes. It's a beautiful, chilly Saturday here in Indy, March 1st. Yay! It's one day closer to spring. But let's talk about the best comics of the week.
Well, first, let's talk about Detective Comics, which was most certainly not best comic books of the week. This is when Tom Taylor loses me as a reader. It's when he decides that I'm too fucking stupid to actually form an opinion on my own or have read up on anything. And he goes so far over the top with his own personal opinions, in this case regarding juvenile detention, that he bashes you over the head with it, treats you like you're dumb. You're no longer reading Batman talking about it. You're reading Tom Taylor talking about it. But it's not just Batman talking like Tom Taylor. It's Bullock. It's fucking everybody. And I hate it so much. It ruins everything that he's built up.
Chris Condon is almost to that level right now on his Green Arrow run, and he's like one step away. But we get more grandstanding here from the Australia's brilliant Tom Taylor about America's prison system. You know, granted, it says it's a juvenile detention center, but this is a prison. Let's be honest here; it is an absolute prison. And prisons in America being lectured to us from a guy from a country founded by prisoners. I love that. And I'm sure, according to Tom Taylor, no one in our prisons ever did anything bad. They're all just misunderstood. But I'm sure this was probably a hell of a lot worse. You know, hopefully an editor did step in and probably had him cut back on a lot of his lecturing. But this issue very much ceases to be fun, funny, or action-packed, and real damn quick, because it's like 7 pages in, and he gets right to it. And it's like, God, he can't help himself. He really can't.
And the bad thing is the story itself is interesting. What plays out in here, that they realize there's something shady about this juvenile detention center. They take Damien, put some prosthetics on him, go and infiltrate it to find out what's going on, and you find out the warden's bad. All of that kind of works, but you can't get into the story. You can't enjoy it because every time he has to take your head, dunk it in a freaking toilet, give you a swirly, and it ruins what is a perfectly good story for Batman.
Yeah, there is a way to tell this story. There could have been a truly good, heartfelt story here of Damien. And if Tom had done some actual research into juvenile detention centers in America, it could have been a very good, heartfelt story here. But no, none of that is here. There's nothing heartfelt in this story here. Nothing to really grip the reader emotionally. It's just lazy grandstanding. And when you're doing a lazy grandstanding story, you're just preaching, and it's just lecturing. It's not fun. There's nothing fun about that. I would love to see someone who found this issue fun, because being lectured to, there's nothing fun about that.
Now, lazy grandstanding might be the best way to describe Tom Taylor's work that I've ever heard. So I appreciate that. But let's get into the good stuff, because we do have some very particularly good comic books. We'll start out with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #7, Jason Aaron writing, Juan Ferreira on art. This is almost 100% due to the Juan Ferreira art itself. He is literally dragging the corpse of Jason Aaron across the finish line with the amazing visuals in this comic book. It looks so fantastic. It's one of the 2 or 3 best illustrated comic books in the entire industry. The Jason Aaron writing stuff, I do appreciate the D.A. Hale stuff and New York kind of turning their backs on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I definitely don't appreciate it. It's all point of view from Donatello, who's clearly lost his ever-loving mind. But the visuals are so good, and the story is good enough that it's definitely a recommend for me.
Yeah, this was by far the best comic of the week for me. Yeah, I love this absolutely. I love this issue absolutely. We got our turtles hiding and regrouping from the bad guys in the sewers, and once again they're bickering with one another. And Donatello with his screw loose coming in for some levity. But yeah, I'll say initially in this current run with Donnie, I was worried that this was too far and not funny or fun. But since we know after the last issue, Donnie is not crazy. Splinter is, according to me, how I read this, Splinter is spiritually with the turtles and Donnie. It is funny from the perspective of the other turtles who think he's crazy with what he's doing, but he's really not. And but there's a great moment in this as well with Raph and Casey Jones in the hospital that I really enjoyed. It's a good heartfelt moment. Tom Taylor could learn from something like that. And the art in this, like you said, Wes, once again, it's $1 million. Juan was born to do the turtles, and he brings his A game in this issue. Once again, there are several pages in this book that are absolutely gorgeous. And by the end of this issue, I am absolutely coming back. It looks like we got Donnie. He's going to be kicking some ass. Strongest recommends for the turtles.
I think this might end up going down as one of the greatest turtle artists of all time. Mm-hmm. That is how on board I am for Juan Ferreira and what he's doing on TMNT these days. Also going to recommend G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero 314, Larry Hama writing. New artist Andrew Cranky, least of this series. And I think he did a really, really good job. He kind of accentuates or works with the style of Chris Mooneyham really, really well. This is a one and done kind of one-shot story. There's a little bit of dialogue in the first 5 or 6 pages that's weird. After that, once you get into the adventure and they're trying to save this politician's daughter from these terrorists, and then you get the big reveal, which I thought was a great reveal in it, that maybe she wasn't quite as helpless as they imagined. Love seeing Tunnel Rat. That was absolutely awesome. That's my favorite G.I. Joe. And I kind of like this one and done, one-shot type of story, and I thought it was done very, very well.
Yeah, I thought this issue was all right. It wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst, but it was just fine. I do love the artist in this. Yeah, he's a great artist. But let's be the little girl. It was Greta Thunberg that they're setting up and setting up a Greta Thunberg. But yeah, I do like the twist with the character toward the end of this book. Yeah, it's a fun twist. Yeah, I liked it. I wasn't the biggest fan, but yeah, it's still a good, solid issue of G.I. Joe. I do like Tunnel Rat. He's not my favorite, but I love Snake Eyes. He's always been my favorite. But yeah, you could do a heck of a lot worse this week. Do give G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero a try, guys. It's a good issue.
Snake Eyes is your favorite G.I. Joe.
Oh, yeah.
How original.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a Patriots fan, or maybe you like the Lakers. Don't do anything interesting or
How about none of the above?
Drew, just go chalk all the way, dude. God. Let me guess, your favorite superhero, Spider-Man.
None of the above. Still wrong. Wrong.
My goodness. Also going to recommend Nightclub 2, number 6, Mark Miller writing, Juan Ramirez on art. This is the final chapter, I guess, of the second volume here. And we finally get the comeuppance of this rival gang that turned into vampires and were basically destroying and bloodletting an entire dance club, which is very, very violent, very well done by Juan Ramirez. We get an interesting twist by the main heroes in Nightclub 2. And we get a really cool final page reveal that I probably should have saw coming, but I wasn't thinking about it, and I thought that was a great way to end it, too.
Yeah, this was a fun conclusion. And yeah, how this issue opens up in that nightclub, it's like, I was like, you got me laughing because, you know what, they're just fighting and screwing, all over the place in that dance club. It was absolutely hilarious and over the top. But yeah, what the nightclub does to take out these bad guys, it definitely wasn't in my Family Feud top 10 survey of how to take them out. I was like, oh, okay, that's one way to do that. But yeah, this is a fun conclusion. And yeah, the cliffhanger to this leading into the next volume, I'm all on board. Cannot wait. 100%. It's going to be an absolute fun ride. Yeah, Nightclub 2, number 6. Yeah, absolutely another terrific story by Mark Miller.
Very fun seeing the 2024 edition of Mark Miller's books wrapping up over the next several months as we get into the 2025 stuff. We still have the Magic Order 5, number 5, Mark Miller writing, Matteo Bafanghi on art. We've got the daughter of Sister Moon or something like that is trying to kill Cordelia, splitting up the team, basically hunting her down all around the city. She finally makes it to that hotel, asking for help. Nobody wants to help her. And we finally get a big reveal on a character that's been looming there that I thought was also an assassin. Not exactly what she was. Did not see that twist coming whatsoever. And we have one issue left for the Magic Order period. And then the series will be done. And I thought this was a lot of fun and really gets you ready for that final chapter.
Yeah, I think he's bringing this to an end, and he's bringing Jupiter's Legacy to an end too as well. But yeah, one thing I love about Mark's writing, especially in this issue, is that he puts our heroes in unwinnable situations, and it appears to be nearly impossible for them to get out of them. And that's this issue. Cordelia is on the run, depowered for an hour or so, being hunted in the streets, and it is awesome. I absolutely loved it. And where she goes to seek shelter, it was great. I was smiling from ear to ear. I was grinning. Loved it. We get a fun little twist toward the end of the issue, and we get some kick-ass magic action-related sequences. Great cliffhanger as well. This was definitely better than Nightclub this week, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun with this. I love the chase sequences. Yeah, strong recommends for Magic Order. Mark Miller, he's a master storyteller. What more is there to say about the guy? He knows. He is textbook. Storytellers need to go to his writings in comics. This is how you do it.
Yeah, we got a lot of really good twists and turns this week as far as the best comic books that came out, and that was maybe the best one. Let's go over to Marvel and find my personal pick of the week. Hellhunters number 3, Philip Kennedy Johnson writing, Adam Gorham on art. We've got Ghost Rider 44. We've got the Soldier Supreme, Logan. We got a really formidable team there with Nick Fury as well as Peggy Carter. But they need another member. They kind of tease it might be Captain America. It is not going to be Captain America. It's going to be Bucky Barnes, and not Golden Age Bucky Barnes or Silver Age Bucky Barnes, but the Bucky Barnes that was revealed from Ed Brubaker in Winter Soldier, what he was really doing back in the day. And he is a much different version of that character. He's a lot more formidable and a little bit bloodthirsty. And basically every awesome thing that happens in this comic book is essentially centered around him. And I thought it was a really great issue, and Adam Gorham continues to really make a name for himself, at least to me.
I will say the positives in this. I did love Adam Gorham's art in this. It is good. How he draws Captain America, he looks like an absolute Chad. That is my image of Captain America, how he draws him in this. He's perfect. The depiction of Bucky in this, I would say psychopath is another word I would use for what he's done to the Nazis. Yeah, overall, I thought it was an okay story. I thought it was okay. It took a turn with Bucky I wasn't expecting. Buyer beware. It takes a hard left turn with Bucky if you're not used to it. But yeah, it'll be a weak recommend for me.
You are absolutely crazy, son. It was about 1 billion times better than TBT. The only thing good about TBT is the art.
If you want crazy, read Bucky in this. That's the textbook definition of crazy. Holy crap.
He definitely was crazy. He's bloodthirsty. They're having to rip him away from the battlefield. He's just trying to shoot everybody down. Also going to recommend Ultimate Spider-Man 14, Jonathan Hickman writing, Marco Cicchetto on art. This is 2/3 of a really good comic book. The Richard Parker Black Cat thing. You could take that, bottle it up, throw it off of a bridge, and never show it to me again, and I would be happy. It's so meaningless and uninteresting. But I do genuinely like the Peter Parker, Harry Osborn in the Savage Land trying to evade Kraven the Hunter while riding velociraptors, while also getting some help maybe from the Mole Man. Very interesting stuff here. I thought the art from Marco Cicchetto was absolutely badass, but we definitely didn't need the Venom suit Parker Sun stuff. It did literally nothing.
No, and it really took away from the action and the intensity. It really brings down the momentum of the book. When you cut away from Peter and Harry on the run from a sniper Kraven to them having their little meet cute on the rooftop, it's like, Hickman, what the hell are you doing, man? You just killed everything right there. It came to a halt. But so I bet you at this point that a lot of cover artists and retailers are probably embarrassed right now because I had no clue that the Black Cat in this universe is 16 years old, not 18 or older. I wasn't expecting that, so it gives a little bit more of a creepier vibe, in my opinion, when you see those covers now in context. But Kraven the Hunter in this, I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite depiction of Kraven. Still isn't. How he comes out with a minigun, trying to mow down Peter and Harry. I'm like, okay, I think that's what Hickman's trying to say, that Kraven is not the best hunter on the planet, because no, he's not, clearly. But I do like the end of this. I do like what Hickman is setting up for the next issues. It's creating, a dire situation for the Parkers, and I love that. So hopefully this pace does continue. It's another okay recommend for Ultimate Spider-Man for me. So
you don't like the sexy covers of the 16-and-a-half-year-old Black Cat?
No. It doesn't do anything for me now. No.
Nah, not really. Final recommendation from DC Comics, Green Lantern 20, Jeremy Adams writing, Jack Herbert on art. Fill-in artist on this one. I think the book looks really good. There's half of the story that's pretty darn serious, and the other half of the story, which ends up being a Raiders of the Lost Ark like homage comic book, which is actually a whole lot of fun with Kyle Rayner, Connor Kent, and this new character Odyssey, who I do think has one of the worst character designs that I've seen in some time, but she seems like a perfectly fine character. She just kind of looks stupid. But the Hal Jordan dealing with this guy on this planet who's had his sword stolen, his money taken, his lady taken, being rolled by teenagers and just losing it because the emotional spectrum is broken and going red, and just murdering dozens and dozens of people. And then Hal shows up and does like a sumo wrestling, all kinds of stuff. It was actually really, really good stuff. And it's good to see Green Lantern getting back on track. Although I am really confused because the other half of the story is completely out of Green Lantern core. which I thought was a different series. Am I going to have to read these in order to actually know what's happening? Because I hope there ain't that much crossover.
Yeah, that's what it's really seeming like at this point, that we're going to have to be reading both. And I wasn't expecting that, but it is what it is, unfortunately. But still, it's still a fun read. And this was my second favorite book this week. I had a lot of fun with this. And I love the origin of this new Red Lantern avatar. I felt so bad for this guy, just how he's treated on a daily basis. You see from his wife to people he's doing work for, like you said, the kids in the street. It's like, God, man, this guy has it rough. Feels so bad for this guy. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it with between him and Hal, how their fight together. I did like it, and it has a very heartfelt conclusion. And yeah, it was good. On top of that, like you said, we had the stuff with Kyle, Superboy, and the Chica, who looks like she came out of the High Republic in her garb, seeking that magical MacGuffin. Yeah, it's fun. They're going to the Source Wall, absolutely, and being like Indiana Jones, it absolutely is. And yeah, Jack Herbert, the artist in this issue, I thought he did a great job here filling in. I hope we get to see more of this guy, because I'm not familiar with this guy's work. He did a solid job. And in the conclusion of this issue, yeah, our heroes are screwed. It is one hell of a cliffhanger, and I cannot wait for the next issue. Strong recommend for Green Lantern.
Now, we've got some other exciting things. We're going to be in Dallas. You teased out that there was a cover that was going to be coming from a long-lost 90s character. You went back, you found the original artist. He's getting back in the game. And we have an update on this?
Yes, we do. We got an cover update from Michael Ortiz on the Unholy Nightmare 2 Arachnus Preview Edition. This is the updated pencils. He drew this twice. A copy for me and a copy for the inker, Andrew Mangum. He wanted us to have it as a thank you. They're going to be looking like this, and Andrew's going to be inking it. It's going to look absolutely glorious. This will be the cover you'll be able to pick up at Dallas Fan Expo this year. Be able to get me, Aaron, Andrew Mangum, possibly Michael, all of us to get to sign this book. It's going to look glorious. You guys do not want to miss out on this awesome, long-lost gem of a character coming back, written by me, Michael Ortiz. It's going to be beautiful. Do not miss out on Unholy Nightmare 2 Arachnus Preview Edition.
If you like what we got going on here, but you would like more of it, maybe cover some of the bad stuff and maybe some of the mid stuff, definitely come visit us on Think Critical Patreon. Jim and I do the Hot or Not podcast every single Thursday. Talk about all the new releases, indie, Marvel, DC, all of that kind of stuff. We have a whole lot of fun. If you haven't checked it out, there's a link in the video description. Hope to see you there very, very soon.